Well, Brad, if your pulse wasn't pounding and your blood pressure wasn't up enough as it is, we're getting started with our first contest here. We've got Perry up there. We've got Yo-Yo.
And
as our official.
From the Vegas Strip, weighing in 242 pounds, he is the one-star Brad Attitude.
Brad Attitude still in the hazmat suit. Still not quite. Oh, God, he punched J-Puff. That's big heat. That's big heat.
Oh, my goodness. You get somebody in the back riled up for that.
Oh, yeah. Ryan's hot. Still in the hazmat suit. Still says he does not want to touch the people if at all possible or have them breathe on him.
Well, look, he's just pandemic responsible.
Very. 6 feet at all times.
Brad Attitude is still standing by his story, stating that there is
Introducing
a
his
conspiracy theory, or a conspiracy against him, I should say, here in AML Wrestling, not giving him his due, not giving him the title shot that he deserves. I might add, he's already gotten his title shot.
He has had title opportunities.
And a push in the ring from
they have all
North
ended in controversy.
Charleston,
Listen to
South
the eruption
Carolina.
for this man.
He weighs in
Maybe
at
I should talk about eruption.
230 pounds. The Sultan of Sting, White Mike.
No matter where you go in the Mid-Atlantic region, White Mike seems to get the people up off their feet, gets their toes tapping and their hands clapping.
I wonder what the Hall of Famer Barry Windham over there hanging out with the Blaze Man thinks of White Mike.
He probably wants to go have a drink with White Mike.
Oh, my God. Imagine those two fishing out somewhere on the lake for 6 or 8 hours.
Oh, there'd be some stories.
Yeah. And someone may get called for bail money.
They call White Mike the Sultan of Stank, and there he is doing that shimmy, rattle, and roll with the fans here in Knoxville.
Brad Attitude's like a dancer. He comes out in way more clothes than he ends up performing in.
Hey, yeah, I'm not going to touch your PPE.
After that, we don't think about that.
That is how you say it, right? Okay.
I wouldn't talk about that around White Mike either.
He might think you're talking about something else. There he goes.
Never short on energy.
Oh, those hips don't lie, Brad. I mean, the song does say, "Give it to me." Oh, man.
I'm not gonna lie, I thought Mike was gonna tumble right out of the ring.
I did too. That would have been a heck of a way to spend your Halloween weekend, wouldn't it?
I'm not gonna lie, that was more body control than I was expecting. Speaking response.
Yeah, I know, right?
But nonetheless, all jocularity from White Mike aside, these are two top contenders to the AML Wrestling Championship. That championship will be defended later on this evening. And Brad Attitude continuing to endear himself, maybe, to this crowd.
Thank you so
Kind of,
much.
in a way.
Oh, look at that. White Mike giving our ring girl her due diligence. He's trying to make sure he covers all his bases.
That's a pretty easy sell, all things considered.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I gotta say, that was a pretty easy sell, all things considered.
Yeah.
About to be over there, Caucasian Michael. Okay.
You know, there's this interesting matchup, Brad. Coming into this weekend, Brad Attitude called White Mike a joke. Said that he's out, you know, ha-has and laughs and all that stuff. He doesn't take wrestling serious, but White Mike kind of took offense to that. He said, I have fun and take it serious.
Yeah, quite frankly, it was not as fired up as I've seen White Mike. Bell sounds, we are officially underway. And officially, welcome to Full Throttle here in Knoxville, North Carolina. We have already had a pull-apart fist fight.
Yeah.
We've already had the Smart Tour Car Show. Want to thank our friends from the Smart Car Circuit that are here with us. Want to thank the Hall of Famer Barry Windham that's here hanging out with us tonight. And we've already had a Halloween costume contest. We've already had a fight. And now we've got some scheduled matches. And hopefully nothing else will defer from what we have planned.
Yeah, and what about our Halloween-themed entranceway? I love it. the Hawks had something to do with that.
Absolutely. That's from the Hawks personal collection, I believe.
Here we go. Collar and elbow tie-up start us off.
Yeah, there's the tie-up, and I'm really interested to see what White Mike brings to this match. Like I said, it was as fired up as I've ever seen White Mike. And quite frankly, you know, like we talked about, he does like to have fun. He does have a very unorthodox style. And I almost wonder if Brad gets in White Mike's head too much, is White Mike going to be tempted to diverge from his usual plan, try to show this guy that he can wrestle? If that happens, does he catch Brad off guard, or does Brad lure him in? It's very interesting to see how both men react to the war of words that broke out online.
Yeah, and you bring up a good point. Brad's modus operandi, get in your opponent's head. And if he can make White Mike wrestle on emotion only, I think he may have an advantage. But Mike's technically sound, I got to say.
Attitude takes him to the ground, and yeah, there's Attitude showing that he can out-wrestle him in the early moments.
I mean, look, this is AML wrestling. A waist lock takedown, you got to do a little more than that. I'm just saying.
But again, it's all about the psychological game. It's all about making White Mike doubt himself. Oh boy.
Oh!
Mike takes him down.
How about that? How about those?
Oh! Hey, that's how you say I love you in Winston-Salem.
It's a good game.
Yeah?
It's a good game. Coach knows all about that.
Yeah, buddy. I even have my earpiece in.
Here. Oh, I was just about to say, thus far it's been pretty basic wrestling, but Attitude turns up the aggression.
Oh, my goodness. A couple more of those. White Mike might not be conscious much longer.
Absolutely. Referee Yo-Yo warning Attitude about to close fist. On the arm, Attitude. Close enough. I can see Attitude even prying the fingers apart for a little extra oomph on that. White Mike trying to wrestle out of it, trying to get the momentum behind his side to free himself, and he does.
Hey, look, Brad Attitude made fun of White Mike's physique, but that physique can sure move. White Mike never one to never give the fans what they paid to see, man. He definitely entertains, that's for sure.
Oh, he let Attitude go. Attitude tried the same thing. White Mike let him go.
So now you got to think, Brad, is White Mike maybe trying to get into Brad's head here?
The arm once again.
Working the leverage there. Oh!
Wow, a little technique.
Very nice. Oh, short arm scissors from White Mike. I love it.
Oh, my God.
I'm stealing that.
Yeah.
I'm stealing that.
White Mike did say that he was coming tonight to bust Brad up. He said that he would force Attitude to put some respect on his name.
Respect.
Respect?
Respect.
Respect.
That's how the kids call it.
Ah.
And I think it's a K.
Trying to stay away from the kids.
And that's what Birdman.
Attitude using the hair. White Mike. Oh, that's about 250 or so on Brad Attitude.
Yeah, coming off the
Runs
rope.
right through him.
Yeah, coming off the ropes, has that momentum.
White Michael back up to his feet. This is going to take more than that. Oh, beautiful drop kick right in the mouth.
Right in the kisser.
White Mike charges Attitude all the way up and over, went all the way to the floor. He tried to catch himself, did Attitude, and he went all the way to the floor.
Yeah, he gave that front row a heck of an experience. I mean, we appreciate you guys wherever you may be watching us streaming, but there's nothing like AML Wrestling Live. This is the last stop before WrestleCade weekend. No better time to get involved in AML Wrestling Live than that weekend.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh! Oh!
Faked him out. Oh, Attitude! Oh! Attitude yanking White Mike by the arm, sent him all the way to the floor. It was a horrible Cactus Jack-like crash on this hardwood gym floor.
Yeah, that was a heck of a tumble off the apron. I mean, I felt the rumble through the paneling or the wood floor here at the Davie County Community Park in Knoxville. Heck, they might have felt that down at Cookout.
Come on, get up and smack the piss out of it.
Booty shakes.
Dark chocolate jalapeno.
It's also 40 Shakes was also my nickname in college.
Oh!
Oh, good Lord!
That's to be here all night, ladies and gentlemen. And both of these men need to think about getting it back in the ring. We definitely don't want to have this end in a double count out. That'd be a heck of a way to start.
Yeah, I touched on it a little while ago. Attitude off the top, sends all his body weight into the sternum. Cover, no weight on the shoulders though, Coach.
Yeah, kind of that lackadaisical, I'm confident in my offense, I don't need to fully cover, press the shoulders, and White Mike took advantage, able to get that right arm up.
We touched on it a little while ago. Both these men are perennial contenders to the AML Wrestling Championship, and don't count out double squalification, anything like that. It doesn't do anything for either man. Both men want to win here because they want to move up into the contendership. Next month is WrestleCade weekend. Everyone wants to be in their top form heading into the biggest weekend in the South.
Yeah, a lot of people want to be holding that championship gold come WrestleCade weekend, show the world what they've got, or at least be in the championship match, right?
Absolutely. On the hair, on the hair,
Oh.
on the hair. Attitude pulling a play out of the playbook where the gorgeous ladies are wrestling,
Hey,
standing on the hair.
That's a follicle felony. Well, you got to pose.
Attitude didn't really have to worry about that happening.
Oh, I heard that.
Attitude has brought the aggression. He said in a response, as both these men have been going at it verbally on social media, Attitude said, "You pissed me off now. You're gonna get a more aggressive Brad Attitude." He has held to his word thus far as the man who, quite frankly, insists he's the uncrowned AML wrestler.
Yeah, that's some scary words from Brad Attitude because he's been very intense, very physical, very attitude-ish.
Attitudinal.
Yeah, there you go. And so to say he was going to ratchet it up, oh my goodness.
White Mike trying to free himself, and he does. Off the ropes. White Mike going for the sunset flip. Can he get him? Can he get him? Can he get him? Oh! That's just nasty. That's just gnarly and rough. The bottom of the boots.
Yeah, because I've seen what that parking lot looks like outside, and that's on the bottom of his foot.
That's a good point. Right across the eyes. That will impair you more than you realize. Uh-oh. Big leg drop. Another lazy cover. We got two, though. Another lazy cover, Coach.
Well, he was over the shoulders that time.
That's true.
But he left his legs open, right? So he was able to actually get that kick out motion. And right now, figure four in the legs, trapping the head. Back in the early 2000s, that used to be a submission hold that would make men tap out because of the smell of the knee pads.
Oh, dear.
Oh.
Attitude manipulating the official. Okay, I got you. You heard Attitude say, "Okay, you caught me."
Never one to shy away from bending the rules.
Again, Attitude mocking the crowd here. Maybe no one better on the AML roster at the very unique task of getting under everyone's skin.
Yeah, him and the Dawsons, I think, definitely vie for the top spot there.
Dawson's just scared the hell out of him. Oh, boy. I don't think anyone but the spider grip guy likes him. Attitude has created an opening here. Self-proclaimed number one contender, perhaps. Have my official rankings in front of me. He's got to be in the conversation, though. Iron Salt, that is, oh no, with the, a bigger chance than Brad Attitude is used to taking. We speculated earlier if White Mike might draw, or excuse me, if Attitude might draw White Mike out of his game. I believe White Mike has drawn Attitude out of Attitude's game. Yeah. Because that's a much bigger chance than Brad Attitude typically is taking.
Yeah, last time we saw Brad Attitude was very much a ground and pound game.
Attitude's solid, man. Those clotheslines. It's about 6'4", about 245-ish, 250 maybe.
Woo! They got him.
White Mike may break out the Warrior comeback. Yes, big shoulder tackle. I think he's feeling the power of the Warrior. Inverted atomic drop.
On a strap, rocket fuel to his back.
He's feeling the dexterity. Neckbreaker. Oh no.
Oh no. Got a little bit of that Rick Rude cover.
Can't flirt with the official. 2. No man.
Well, it's not against the rules.
I mean, it's not against the wrestling rules. I would imagine it's frowned on by personnel. Actually, I take that back. I know it's frowned on by personnel. That's neither here nor there.
Fraternization.
Yeah. They'll fire you for that sometimes. Ooh, Stinger splash. Attitude is getting rocked here as White Mike is busting out some of the top plays from his 90s playlist.
Yeah, for
Stinger
sure.
splash, the Warrior shoulder block.
String a couple of more of those together, we might eke out a win here in our opening contest.
That would be huge for White Mike. You would have to think of him as a top contender if that happens. Zigzag. Oh, he did not get it. He's been studying the Brad Attitude playbook. Jackknife pin. 2. Oh,
buddy.
He almost stole one. He almost squeaked one out, did White Mike.
I mean, he took the things that we've been saying about Brad Attitude's pins and put them both together. Had his legs and his body weight on his shoulders. I mean, that took a lot out of Brad Attitude to kick out of that.
Yeah, absolutely. If you've never been in that position, you can't think about what it takes to have to push a 240-pound man off of. Oh, great show of strength from Attitude.
We going to Oklahoma? Nope.
Oh, in reverse, perhaps. Oh, caught him right in the chin. Attitude caught him zigzag. Attitude caught him with the super kick and a zigzag. 2. Woo!
Oh, Lord.
That was a huge combination, and White Mike survived it.
They might have been able to build up a little bit of those endorphins in the body after that flurry of offense. That's the only reason he was able to kick out, Brad.
We have passed 10 minutes in this contest. Time is going to become of the essence here. Attitude may need to stop placating to the crowd, Josh. He may need to go ahead and put this thing away. Again, a time limit draw does neither man any good.
Yeah, look down the barrel, look down the sights, and go ahead and pull that trigger.
Attitude is obsessed with proving his point. He's got to make sure everyone in the room hears him and everyone in the room believes what he's saying.
Oh, wait a minute. We about to open some yams.
No.
Oh, no.
Peanut butter falcon arrow right into the cover. Body weight is on top.
And these guys are throwing the creme de la creme of their offenses at each other here.
See the look of shock on White Mike's face. He's got to string something else together, man. Win at all costs this close to WrestleCade weekend. The eyes of the wrestling world will be on Winston-Salem in just about 1 month's time. Uh-oh. Nips are out.
Yep. Straps are coming down. Yeah, he might have gone a little
I was
lower.
about to say, I appreciate White Mike respecting this PG show. Ham opener. No, attitude. Oh, he hooked the rope. He hooked the rope.
Oh, goodness.
You want to talk about manipulating the rule book. Attitude using the ropes to his advantage. And oh, man, face first.
That has got to be it.
Dead center of the ring. There's the cover. 2. Oh. That could cost him.
Yeah, that.
As close as this match has been, that could be a bad move. That could be a mistake.
I've never seen that end well in my years of pro wrestling.
Oh, no, Attitude.
Oh. Putting on Father Time, Caprice Coleman's finishing submission.
We saw him do this about a month ago with J.B. Cole. White Mike gives it up. Brad Attitude has won 2 in a row with Caprice Coleman's hold.
Yeah, that's pouring.
Your winner by tap, the 1-star Brad Attitude.
I mean, that's pouring salt in the wound. Not only are you defeating your opponent, but you're also flipping the bird to our AML Wrestling champion, Caprice Coleman.
Yeah, positively.
I can't.
Caprice Coleman is here tonight, so I can only assume that message will be received. Brad Attitude has won 2 in a row with Caprice Coleman's own hold. And you got to give it up to White Mike in a hell of a fight here in our opening contest. a matchup that legitimately, truly could have gone either way.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you know, give nothing to White Mike. He definitely came out, entertained the fans with his usual antics, flurry of offense. I was really impressed by the Brad Attitude using that move. I mean, that was just
Why do you want to know?
yeah, the next.
That is
Yeah.
the next match. Oh God! Better you than me. What is going on? This is the craziest start to an AML wrestling event that I've ever seen. Attitude thankfully always has his rubbers on him.
Always protected, my friend.